What happens when memories fade? Explore the intricate processes of forgetting in human memory. Discover the theories and explanations behind why we forget. Interference theory suggests that forgetting occurs when other information disrupts recall. Proactive interference happens when old information hinders new learning. Retroactive interference occurs when new information disrupts old memories. Understanding these can explain difficulties in learning. Both types highlight how interference affects memory processes. Proactive interference is when past learning affects new information. It occurs when previously stored memories hinder the ability to encode or recall newer material. This is common in situations involving similar types of information. For example, old piano fingerings might interfere with learning new ones. This shows how muscle memory or cognitive habits from prior learning can intrude on attempts to acquire updated techniques, especially when the new and old skills are closely related. This interference disrupts encoding and retrieval of new data. Because the brain retrieves older, well-established information first, it can prevent the proper storage or recall of the new information being learned. It creates a proactive trace that impacts memory. This lingering influence from earlier learning forms a memory trace that competes with new traces, leading to confusion or errors during recall tasks. Recognizing this helps in understanding memory challenges. Awareness of proactive interference is crucial in educational and cognitive psychology settings, helping to develop better learning strategies and memory retention techniques. Retroactive interference occurs when new learning affects old information. For instance, a new password might make recalling an old one difficult. This interference impacts retrieval of past memories. New information competes with old for memory access. Understanding this aids in managing memory issues. Interference involves competition for cognitive resources. Similarity between information increases interference. Temporal order of learning affects interference strength. Strong initial memory traces can persist and interfere. Recognizing these mechanisms helps in mitigating memory issues. Learning multiple languages can cause interference between them. Frequent password changes might lead to forgetting old ones. Interference affects daily tasks and learning. Mitigating interference involves varying learning contexts. Practicing information strengthens memory traces. Retrieval failure happens when cues are absent. Even though the information may be stored in memory, it becomes inaccessible without the right prompts or triggers to retrieve it. Cues help activate memory traces for recall. These can be external, like smells or sounds, or internal, like emotional states, and they serve as signals that reconnect us to stored information. Encoding specificity principle explains this phenomenon. It suggests that memory is most effective when the context at retrieval matches the context at encoding. For example, if you learn something underwater, you're more likely to remember it underwater. Without cues, retrieval fails, leading to forgetting. This doesn't mean the memory is lost, just that it can't be accessed at that moment. It explains common experiences like tip-of-the-tongue moments. Understanding retrieval failure aids in improving memory recall. By using retrieval cues, such as mnemonics, context reinstatement, or associations, we can enhance our ability to access stored information more reliably. Retrieval is effective when encoding and retrieval conditions match. Context-dependent memory relies on similar cues. Absence of cues results in retrieval failure. The tip-of-the-tongue phenomenon illustrates this. Recognizing this principle helps in enhancing memory performance. Retrieval failure happens when cues are absent. Even though the information is stored in memory, it may become temporarily inaccessible without the right triggers or prompts to aid retrieval. Cues help activate memory traces for recall. These cues can be external, like a familiar smell, sound, or environment, or internal, such as mood or state of mind, acting as links that unlock stored information. Encoding specificity principle explains this phenomenon. It states that memory retrieval is most effective when the retrieval conditions match the conditions under which the memory was originally encoded. For instance, learning and recalling in the same place can improve memory performance. Without cues, retrieval fails, leading to forgetting. This failure doesn't imply that the memory is erased, only that it's currently inaccessible. This helps explain everyday occurrences like being unable to recall a word that feels on the tip of the tongue. Understanding retrieval failure aids in improving memory recall. Using strategies like context-dependent cues, state-dependent cues, and memory aids, mnemonics, can significantly enhance our ability to access stored memories when needed. Cue-dependent learning enhances retrieval success. Contextual similarity between learning and recall aids memory. Regular testing strengthens memory traces. Mnemonic devices offer additional retrieval cues. These strategies help mitigate retrieval failure. Stress and anxiety can impair memory recall. Eyewitness testimony accuracy is influenced by many factors. Misleading information can distort memories. Cross-racial identification challenges accuracy. Recognizing these factors is crucial for reliable testimony. High stress during events can impair memory recall. Stress activates the body's fight or flight response, releasing hormones like cortisol, which can disrupt encoding and retrieval processes in the brain, especially in the hippocampus. The weapon focus effect diverts attention from details. When a weapon is present during a crime, witnesses tend to focus on it rather than other important details, such as the perpetrator's face or surroundings, leading to reduced recall accuracy. Anxiety reduces eyewitness accuracy. High levels of anxiety can cause narrowed attention, distorted perception, and fragmented memories, making eyewitness testimony less reliable under pressure. Understanding stress effects is vital for testimony evaluation. Legal professionals and psychologists must consider how stress may have influenced a witness's ability to observe and remember events accurately. Managing stress can improve memory recall. Using relaxation techniques, creating calm interview settings, and allowing time for recollection can enhance the accuracy of memories, especially in forensic contexts. Exposure to inaccurate information can distort memories. Leading questions may alter eyewitness recollection. Misleading information affects testimony accuracy. Recognizing misinformation is crucial for reliable accounts. Avoiding suggestive questioning aids in accuracy. Cross-racial identification is less accurate due to recognition challenges. People generally find it harder to recognize and differentiate faces of individuals from a different racial or ethnic group, a phenomenon known as the cross-race effect or own race bias. Witness and suspect racial differences affect memory. When the witness and the suspect belong to different racial groups, the ability to encode facial features accurately is reduced, which can impair later recall and recognition. This can lead to misidentifications in testimonies. Cross-racial misidentification has been a contributing factor in wrongful convictions, especially in eyewitness-based legal cases, according to studies and criminal justice reports. Understanding this helps in improving identification accuracy. Awareness of the cross-race effect allows law enforcement and legal systems to implement procedures that reduce bias, such as improved lineup protocols and expert witness testimony. Addressing biases is key for reliable accounts. Training officials to recognize and mitigate implicit racial biases, along with educating juries about memory limitations, is essential for ensuring fairness and accuracy in legal settings. Children and the elderly may experience memory distortion. Age affects susceptibility to suggestibility. Cognitive decline impacts testimony accuracy. Recognizing age-related memory issues is essential. Tailoring questioning techniques can aid in accuracy. Lineup procedures influence identification accuracy. Biased instructions can affect witness decisions. Sequential lineups may improve identification reliability. Understanding lineup effects aids in accurate testimony. Ensuring fair procedures enhances reliability. Exposure to new information post-event can alter memories. Media coverage may introduce misinformation. Discussions with others can affect recall accuracy. Recognizing post-event influence is crucial for testimony. Limiting exposure to new information aids memory accuracy. Cognitive interview techniques can enhance memory recall. They encourage witnesses to provide detailed accounts. Effective techniques improve testimony accuracy. Understanding cognitive interviews aids in reliable recall. Employing these techniques supports accurate testimonies. Personal biases can influence eyewitness identification. Stereotypes affect memory perception and recall. Recognizing biases is key for reliable testimony. Addressing biases improves identification accuracy. Understanding personal bias aids in fair evaluations. The length of exposure affects memory accuracy. Brief exposures may result in less detailed recollections. Longer exposures enhance memory detail. Recognizing exposure duration helps in evaluating testimony. Ensuring adequate exposure improves reliability. Cultural factors influence event encoding and interpretation. Differences in norms affect testimony accuracy. Understanding cultural impacts is crucial for fair evaluations. Addressing cultural differences aids in reliable testimonies. Recognizing these factors supports just outcomes. In Conclusion, these insights ensure fair and accurate evaluations in various contexts. Understanding factors like stress, retrieval failure, and cross-racial identification helps improve memory reliability, supports justice in legal settings, and enhances the effectiveness of psychological assessments. Thank you for teaching.